everyone, my name is Bianca Richardson and I'm here with my friends from Guitar Center. Today we're here to look at the Simmons Titan 50 BEX electronic drum kit. I'm a drummer / producer, and I had the chance to play with Conan Gray, Will Smith, Marcus Miller, and many more. I started out playing drumline in middle school, and that really helped me get my rudiments together, which really shaped me to get gigs today because of how fast my hands were. I know that drumline is kind of different from the drum set, but the drum set is really still rudiment based because of paradiddles. You can do it with grooves, and I feel like that's really helped me with my drum playing. How I use electronic kits is recording, doing session work. I've mainly used it for practicing because of the built-in metronomes that the kits has, and also too, with using electronic kits, they're very, very intuitive when it comes to like the accuracy. The sound comes from the drum. I really love the mixture of acoustic and electric drumming, which is called hybrid drumming. And I see how it can be very, very useful because I like to use claps, different drum sounds, different kick sounds, which you can't get from a normal kit. For me, I think it's just like another expansion to an acoustic drum set, and I think people aren't aware of that. For me, I think it's just a way to expand on how a drummer sounds. Let's take a look at the kit that we're working with. I'm gonna give you a quick breakdown. The Titan 50 BEX is an expansion of the Titan 50. There's an additional crash and there's an additional floor tom. It has a dual zone 10-inch mesh snare pad, 4 8-inch mesh toms, 2 10-inch chokeable crash cymbals, a variable hi-hat controller, and a 6-inch kick pad. It has an easy-to-use module. It has 25 presets and 10 user kits. It also has USB connection, Bluetooth capabilities, 1/8-inch stereo aux input. One thing I noticed sitting down in the drum kit is how realistic that it feels to an acoustic drum kit. The spacing, it feels natural, and I noticed that all the toms heads and the snare head, they're very realistic like to a acoustic kit, which is very easy to play when I do my buzz rolls and tom rolls and all over the kit. One thing that I noticed about the height of the crash, how it's easy to adjust to my liking. One thing I noticed with the hi-hat is also that the spacing in between the snare and the hi-hat is very realistic to how I would set my drum kit. I'm gonna start off by playing the modern pop kit without adjusting any of the settings, and later on we'll get into that. One thing I love about the modern pop kit is the kick drum. The kick drum has a punchy and very thick sound that I love. It's ready to go. Like, I don't have to do anything to it. My first impression of this kit is that it already has the tones already dialed in, which is great. I noticed about the ghost notes that I was doing on the kit is very responsive. One thing I would like to experiment with is changing the tone of the hi-hat just to my liking, and we can go to the module and take a look. What I did was I adjusted the tones for the hi-hat for each trigger. Say, for example, that I have my hi-hat closed while my foot is down on the pedal, I can change the tone for that. If I have my foot off the pedal, I can change the tone for that. Even if I have my foot just slightly on the hi-hat pedal, I can change the tone for that as well. I really like that it's customizable, that you're able to change the tone for each trigger. The Simmons Drums 2 app is very customizable when you want to get the tones that you want for your kit. They have it where it's your kick, snare, hi-hat, toms, and you can adjust it to the levels how you want it to adjust it to. If I want to change the setting on another drum, I can simply just hit my snare and it changes, and then I can adjust it accordingly. I'm a fan of R&B, so let's check out the next kick, which is Funk Booty. One thing that stood out to me about this kit is the snare drum. The snare tone of this kit, it gives like more of a ring, which is kind of close to 70 funk records, which I like. The sensitivity of this kit is incredible because I tend to play a lot of ghost notes and I feel like it's very responsive to how I play. It has a lot of body, a lot of space to play on when I'm hitting full max volume or when I want to hit very soft. The Funk Booty kit, I wouldn't change anything about it. It's amazing, sounds great, and let's go check out some other kits, which is the 80s gated kit, which is my favorite genre. I love the 80s. One thing that I love is the reverb, which is very, very authentic, just like how 80s music is, like Prince, Madonna, even some Michael Jackson songs too. Whenever I hear this tone or this gated sound, it makes me want to play like more funky and add extra toms because I feel like 80s music is very danceable. And I don't know if you noticed with the last demonstration, I did a lot of more tom fills because for me, 80s music is kind of like that. I feel like this kit did a really great job of replicating the 80s. One thing I noticed that you can do on this kit is do cymbal rolls, and it's very responsive like how you would do it on an acoustic kit. I wouldn't change much about the kits because they already sound great, but one thing I would like to explore is changing some of the toms. I would like to see if I can get a more of a muted tone, especially on my floor tom. One thing I loved about choosing different tones for the tom is that I don't even actually have to tune or pitch anything because it already has it set in the module. There's a setting where it says tom damp 20-inch. I love that it already was dampened, it had a muted tone. Let's get out of the 80s and go check out India, the Indian kit. One thing I love about this Indian kit is the different sounds that this kit has. The sound quality this kit provides is very authentic to how the kit sounds like the 80s. I love that they had a gated reverb. The modern pop, it's tuned perfectly, like how I would tune my drum. In the Indian kit, I love that it had all different types of worldly sounds and Indian percussion that's authentic. Overall, the kit has amazing quality sounds that I love. There's a lot of customization options that you can do. You can adjust the levels. You can adjust how much compression you want on your drums if you want your drums to sound more thick. I personally like my kits to be more compressed because I like my drums to sound thick and punchy and kind of in your face. And I love that you can adjust that to your liking. Now let's check out the practice modes. The first practice tool is a metronome. Right here, you just click on practice, and then you can adjust the BPM, which is a simple swipe going up and down, volume, the accent, and also the click. Another thing is that you can adjust the time signature as well. I chose the high volume kit to practice to the metronome. One thing I liked about the metronome is that you can adjust the accent. Sometimes the accent can be very blaring in our ears. I was able to adjust it to a level that was my liking. I also love that you can adjust the time signature as well. If I wanted to practice in different time signatures like 3/4, 7/8, I think that's one really cool thing the kit has. I'm going to show you one of the songs from one of their presets. I'm going to choose the R&B song and adjust some of the levels. So right now I'm going to change it from classic rock to R&B. I'm going to leave the click as is, but you're able to change it to no click or how you want it. I'm going to leave the difficulty level as medium. And then tempo shift, which is a cool feature, is that you can adjust the tempo to how you want it. But for me, I like for my tempo to be consistent because sometimes it can get a little wonky. And I'm ready to go. The R&B song was very fun to play to. I love that it had an A and B section and it was very clear on the intro and then when the song starts to build in and also when it ends. And I love that it had other instruments like guitar, bass, and it made it feel very full, which allowed me to be more creative to play along to. If you want to play along to existing drums, it's already mixed in there and it'll help you get more creative with just getting ideas on how to play that certain style. The next mode we're going to check out is recording mode. For me, that's a really great tool because it gives me a chance to review my playing. I'm going to press record my groove, and then save my song. And now I can listen back to it. It's an awesome way to just hear back your playing and to critique. I love that this module has this option. What I heard in the playback, there's some things I can hear that I can improve when it comes to my hi-hat playing. With having this as an option to hear my playback, it's awesome because I notice things that I wouldn't be able to notice before if I didn't have the chance to hear it back. So this kit, I think it's awesome. I love that it's very responsive to how I play. I love the size of the kit. It makes me feel like it's natural, like how I would feel on an acoustic kit. I love the settings. I love that it's very customizable, and I can see myself using this everyday use because of the samples and the sounds that it has already on the kit. If you're interested in learning more about the Simmons Titan 50 BEX electronic drum kit, head to guitarcenter.com, call one of their expert gear advisors, or try it out yourself at your local GC.